You're tuning in to part 2 of this conversation. If you haven't heard part 1 yet, I encourage you to pause and start there first. Let's jump back in. Welcome to Unspoken Lives, the podcast that uncovers the powerful, untold stories of everyday people. The real stories you don't always hear, but ones that deserve to be told. I'm your host, Kelsey Billingsley. In each episode, we'll explore journeys of growth, resilience, and transformation. Conversations with guests who have faced challenges, embraced change, and discovered new purpose along the way. Through their stories, you'll find inspiration, hope, and a reminder that every life has a story worth telling. Let's dive into this next unspoken life.
But we have an imagination for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Your imagination is your higher conscious self, too. So again, how do we fly in planes? Someone imagined and was crazy enough to believe that we could fly in a plane. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody imagined that me and you could be in separate states or universes and be on this platform right now.
Yep.
So the Jetsons, okay? How? So imagine in your mind, what is the best day of your life? And I have a meditation that I do with my clients called the Perfect Day Meditation.
Okay.
What would you be doing on your perfect day? And embody that. Maybe you can put on the clothes that you would be. Maybe if you're sick, maybe you can't get out the house, but you could put on the clothes that you would be wearing if you were going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you could drink the tea if it's at a tea house or something on the beach. Maybe you can simulate that experience at home. So I'll tell you what I do. I have a television and I go to YouTube and I put on these different scenes and they have like jazz or like, this kind of meditative spa music.
Yep.
And I embody that I'm there. Right? So if I have a scene, I have one today that I'm playing and it's the cherry blossoms.
Okay.
And it's on a beach and it's like at a cafe, but it's open and it's open to the beach.
Uh-huh.
Oh, this is what I would wear if I was there. Right? I would have on my spring colors. This is like a kind of like a see-through. It's not see-through, but it's a light shirt.
Right, like a sheer.
This is what I would wear. I would have the ocean breeze. So use the power of your mind. Now, am I going to say, oh, I'm just going to take myself out? And you're still having a human experience, your spiritual being. So that humanistic part is still going to be there. So on the days where I felt like I wanted to give up and I couldn't do it, I'm listening to the audiobook of David Goggins. So in one ear, I might have Eckhart Tolle. And then the next ear, I might need somebody to tell me to get myself together. So just look at what you need. And when you're doing those things, what makes you feel like none of this stuff that's going on exists, do that.
Yeah.
That's how you'll know.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I think I've shared with you that this podcast, it's really about how everyone has these stories and we're always putting up a mask. So I love that because I feel like it's kind of helping your mindset get to who like your authentic self is versus always having these masks up. So I really like that. I know that you wrote a book.
Yes.
And I'd love to learn a little more about it. It's called God Has My Six.
Yes.
Can you share what prompted you to write it, what it's about, what listeners can gain from it?
Yes. So God has my six. In military terms, everybody asks me what that means. So in the military, when we are looking at direction, we go by the clock, the direction of the clock. So your six is your back, right? So I'm not going to tell the enemy, hey, over there, right? And I just, to give you that clearance. It's funny because I had said that saying for many years. I never knew it was going to be a book. Never.
I love the name of it. I love it. Yeah.
But it was, again, coming back to your true self. I had always been saying it. And it's a teaching memoir that really outlines my story. Now, I will say, because people say, oh, I have a book, and it sounds so cute to have a book. But when you are writing a book, especially any type of memoir, you are going back down into the darkness. And so you have to learn how to maybe peek down the tunnel and not go all the way. You know what I
could see
mean?
that.
To kind of step out of it and look back in and glance like a movie.
Yep.
And even when you're watching movies, don't you have that experience of watching that movie? And if it's a traumatic movie and you can identify that with that,
Absolutely.
right? You feel it. You
Yeah.
feel it.
Yep.
So again, let's turn the movie off. It no longer exists. Yes, it happened. Acknowledging that. But when I first started writing the book, again, it's a teaching memoir and it talks about basically how to get in alignment. It has my aligned success method. I have a whole academy out of it now. But
Mm-hmm.
when I first started writing it, I started doing pre-sales like a while ago. And first wrote the book because I was angry and I
Oh.
wanted the world, I felt an injustice
Mm-hmm.
because I lost my career. You tried to kill me. You tried to send me home to
Mm.
die. Like I was angry. I served my country all these years. And when I asked for help the first time I'm hospitalized, you try to send me home. You send in mental health providers, right?
Mm.
And I provided mental health to thousands and thousands of people, changed laws for your health care. And this is how you do me? I was
Yeah.
angry. And I
Yeah.
wanted the world to know about it.
Mm-hmm.
And God said, no, your
Hmm.
story wasn't for you. And you cannot put that book out like that. I'm getting emotional as I think about it.
No, that's okay.
So I had to rewrite the book.
So wait, you wrote all of it in that state of mind
Yes.
and then had to rewrite all of it again.
Listen, journaling, that's the most therapeutic thing because you could do some
Mm,
mean things when you mad, right?
yeah.
You
Maybe you
could do
needed to
some
get it out
crazy
first.
things. It don't matter what your training or what your specialty is. You wanna you
Yeah.
know what I mean? You have those days you're human,
Yeah.
right? You want to
Yeah.
call people, you want to email everybody, you want to do some things. And God said, no, your story, you went through it. It's almost like you are there as a shepherd for certain people
Mm,
to
mm-hmm.
help them through. And so I created the Alliance Success Academy to help, especially high achieving women, because we're the ones that don't ask for help. And we could look
Mm-hmm.
just like this and be completely struggling and you would never
Yep.
know. And so I wanted to create that space specifically for women, a lot to develop their own modality to make sure that they're in alignment. And when you're in alignment, you will see your life grow in such a way. Number one, it's going to be fast because in the spiritual realm, when they say time doesn't exist,
Mm-hmm.
it
Yep.
really doesn't because something that you think could take 20 years could take a day,
Yeah.
right? It could take hours, it could take minutes. I meet you and you know a connection to so and so, and you now have me on Tony Robbins' stage. You don't know who you're meeting with, or vice versa.
Right.
You
Right.
don't know. That's why I say to treat everyone as if they were God,
Yeah.
right? If I was
Yep.
meeting God, how would I treat, you know? And even if you're not treating me the best way, I'm still gonna treat you with respect.
Mm-hmm.
You must be struggling if you're reacting that
Yeah.
way. What's
Where's
going
that
on with
coming
you?
from? Mm-hmm.
Right? And so it really provides that formula to help people get in alignment and to overcome their own traumas.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
with professional women and high achieving women, the words you use need to be different. Cause if you be like, oh, we're going to heal, they'll be like, really? Like I'm a CEO, I'm over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so again, when you look at alignment, that's a different thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, there's a healing process that needs to happen while you're getting in alignment. But most people say, oh, I can't leave this job because I need to pay my bills.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear of people that gets it all stripped from them that helps them to walk in their divine calling, which
Yeah.
happened to me. So I
Yep.
help women get in alignment with their divine assignment. But the book is for everyone. Anyone
Mm-hmm.
who's gone through or overcoming any kind of trauma, like it's for you. But I specialize in helping high achieving women because that is who I am. That is who I
Yeah.
embody. And the funny thing about being a therapist, a lot of people may not relate to what some of their clients have gone through, but I
Mm-hmm.
can relate to those.
Oh
So
yeah.
having someone who can understand it, so it's not like, just saying hashtag or I'm a clinician and I'm going to tell you this. It's different
Yeah.
because there are days you're going to say, forget this.
Yeah. I had a guest on, I don't know, about a month or so ago who went through a really traumatic time. And a phrase that she said stuck with me. She said, pain is a microphone. And I
Hmm.
feel like that's the same for you. You
So
know, you
true.
went through this
Yeah.
pain and now people listen more when you have a microphone. So,
Yeah. That is such a good way to say it because you're a messenger.
mhm,
You become a messenger. A lot of people want fame and they want fortune, but it's like, what impact are you having? Are you a person of significance?
mhm,
Are you making a mark on the world that will change it for the better?
yeah,
So that's what true legacy is,
yep,
not just money.
mhm,
Money is a tool, and the women that I work with are doing such huge things. And it's not just in the United States. I have
mhm,
clients that are overseas. Now I realize, okay, I'm doing a TED Talk in the Netherlands, I'm speaking overseas. I then became a peace ambassador with this organization under the UN, the United
uh-huh,
Nations.
yeah,
And so it's just so interesting how, I thought, oh, I'm serving at a big level. When I was in uniform, I was highly
yeah,
decorated. But now I'm probably reaching personally more
mhm,
people
yeah,
because of, me being obedient and walking in that calling.
yeah. Do you ever stop and just look back on your life and just, I guess, in amazement of like, wow, I would have never imagined God had this plan for me? You know, you had your path you were going down, and now it's like, wow, this is just incredible. Like the people you get to help. And
Hmm.
I mean, even if you don't get to meet them, if someone listens to this podcast,
That's right.
you're reaching people you may not even meet. I just think it's
That's right.
incredible.
Yeah, and somebody may be in darkness and they
Mm-hmm.
listen to this podcast or another one of my talks, right?
Right.
It's interesting because when I was younger and I was dealing with all that trauma,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I always knew there was a higher calling, but I didn't know what it was because I thought, oh, I'd make admiral and then I was going to be a senator. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I thought I was going to do it in that way. I always knew there was a higher calling. I didn't know it would be like this, though. So,
Mm-hmm.
yes, I'm in awe of God every single day.
Yeah.
And I ask that question of God every single day, like, God, please blow my mind today. Show me
I love
things
that.
that I don't even know that I need, and to give me guidance on what He wants me to do. So sometimes, something may say, oh, give somebody money or send them money or, somebody I see on the street. It's not things that, are necessarily visible,
Mm-hmm.
but something may come to me spiritually to do something.
Yeah.
Yesterday, it was someone that's near and dear to my heart. I contacted her and I was like, I have something for you. It was an African hand fan,
Mm-hmm.
beautiful, and it was from Ghana.
Yeah.
And I saw it and it was like, something told me to give this to her.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just so grateful. But if you have this intuitive nudge to do something like that,
Uh-huh.
this person has been on my mind for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and send them if you don't have time, send them a text.
Yeah.
Send them an email. Send them a handwritten card goes far.
Mm,
Or
yeah.
handwritten note. I'm telling you, there's a reason for it. But
Yeah.
continue to be obedient to the intuitive nudges that you're getting, and then you'll start to see yourself heal. It's almost like that is your healing
Yeah.
mechanism. But be careful not to overdo it and think, well, again, I'm using my human mind. Let me go and volunteer everywhere, do everything,
Right.
and then
Wear
you're getting
yourself out.
sick.
Yeah.
You're overwhelmed. You're hearing too many
Yeah.
stories.
I don't know, about a week ago, I had a conversation with my son. He's 10, and we were talking about those spiritual nudges you get because he was
Oh.
asking us about, the Holy Spirit and all these different things. And so I was trying to explain it. And I was sharing with him how, if you have a friend, the more you get to know them, the more you recognize their voice. If they come and knock on the door, you know who it is by the way that they knock. So I
Yeah,
was trying to encourage him to just spend time in that more. What
yeah.
would you say to somebody who maybe they're getting these spiritual nudges, but they don't, they're second guessing, is that really from God or is this my
Hmm.
mind? What would you say to someone who's going through that process?
Oh, that's like exciting. That's exciting. And people ask me something similar as to like, how do you know to go into like the light? You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Number one, you're not losing anything by trying. So
Yeah.
that's number one. So if
Mm-hmm.
I'm already at rock bottom, There's nowhere else to go but up. So I'm gonna try
Yeah.
them. I'm gonna give
What
them
do
a
you have to
try.
lose? Yeah.
So yeah, so I would ask the question, when you first tried something that you thought was horrible to eat and you tried it and it delivered you, right? I'm looking at lychee, whatever and I love lychee. Like it looked
Uh-huh.
funny though, but now I love it.
Yeah.
So what I would say is to put it to the test.
Mm.
Life is a test. Everything is a test, right?
Yeah.
That's why we have testimonies.
Mm. I like that.
Get in alignment or in commune with God and say, God, if this is you, show me.
Mm.
And something will happen that you'll know is from God.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like somebody will
Yep.
call you on the phone. Hey, you've been thinking about doing this podcast for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody calls you and says, you know what? I got to get rid of this microphone. I'm no longer doing my podcast. And they send it to you for free and you don't have
Uh-huh.
to. It's something's going to, I'm
Yep.
telling you. But also it's you have to get out of your human mind.
Mm-hmm.
You were a spirit before you got here. You're going to be a
Yep.
spirit before after you leave, right? Energy
Mm-hmm.
cannot be created or destroyed. So if that's the case, if you're like allow yourself to surrender and see the unfolding of it. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not a matter of okay, I asked God for this money to go to this healing retreat that Malaysia's doing somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really have the money right now. And God knows you need to be there and you need to
Yeah.
be with those other women. And this is going to be a turning point because all of the women who are going to leave this retreat are going to now multiply what God is
Mm.
telling them to do in the
Yep.
world. So then you get the money, but it's not to the point where, okay, I'm going to work two jobs to get it. That's not allowing God to, that's controlling it. Yeah,
Yeah.
we could all get 10 jobs. So no, it's something that's going to happen that you will know. I'm saying try it.
Mm-hmm.
Try it and
I
see.
like that.
Hmm.
I like
But
that a
not in
lot.
your human ego mind though. Like, oh, okay, nothing
Surrender.
happened yet. But when you're in your ego mind, you can't see it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe you're going to get this idea that's going to bring you the money.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yep. That makes
So,
sense.
oh, I got this application to apply for this and I got this money. You see what I mean? So, like, it's not the way your human mind thinks. So,
Mm-hmm.
take control and allow God to lead, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't put limitations on God.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying, okay, I need this amount of money. And God's like, I got 10 times that amount for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not being obedient. So, you're not ready to receive it
Yeah.
and be in receiving mode.
That's great. Well, Malaysia, I have really enjoyed speaking with you. You have so much to offer. I'm so glad we got connected through
Me
Instagram.
too. Me
It's
too.
been such a pleasure. If you have any closing thoughts you'd like to share, or even if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, what the best way would be, I'd love to hear both of those things.
Yes. So closing thoughts. I always try to think of what someone would need specifically, on this particular
Yep.
day. Through your healing journey, you will never get to a point where I made it. You see people on social media who
Mm,
says, "Oh, I was homeless and now I'm a multimillionaire." Number
yep.
one, many people are lying.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Because less than 1% of the population or whatever it's a very low percentage
Yeah.
that are millionaires. So a lot of
Yeah.
people are lying. So you think, oh, they made it. And what I'm telling you is everyone struggles still. People still have things that they need to work through. Because would we be human if we didn't?
Mm-mm.
Right? Unless I'm a monk on the top of the mountain,
Uh-huh.
and meditating all day. But I'm sure even up there, you
Mm-hmm.
got some vice, you thing that you deal with, right?
Yep.
Anywhere you are. And so never think that you made it. And number two, I believe that life is the art of becoming. And so people think, oh, I'm going to live until this, or some people were taken earlier. I'm saying you're going to get whatever those answers are for you, but just know that to take joy in the becoming,
Right.
knowing that I can become whoever I want to be, but I want to be in alignment with what I'm supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And every day I'm working towards that. If you're sick and you're down, learn how to put your makeup on. I started going on YouTube videos, learning to do my makeup while I was at home. What else do you have to do? You gonna sit there and soak all day?
Yeah.
Learn about in the art of fragrance. That's my art. You know,
Wow.
I'm coming out with a fragrance company as well. I have a candle
Oh,
company.
I love that.
But yeah, I believe that we all have our art, and whenever you're creating, that is when you are most closest to God or you're in nature. And so whatever you are creating, we are creators, right? Along
Yeah.
with God, we create all these things, right?
Yeah.
And so that is when you're most in tune. And if you want to get in touch with me, of course, info@malaysiaharrell.com. You can email us. And also, you know, I'm on most social media platforms, and
Perfect.
contact me. I'd love to just tell you or just binge watch my content, whatever's out there, and to learn about the Align Success Academy. I think is very important. If you do get a hold of my book, I would love for you to send me an email and let me know. I just love hearing the testimonies of people who may have been impacted in a positive way. And that
Yeah.
lets me know that, okay, I'm walking in alignment. And that's when you'll know too.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, I think the work you're doing is incredible. I know I don't have to say it, but I hope you keep it up. And I just love how inspirational you are. I was really looking forward to this conversation. And I thought, I don't know, I just really enjoy your spirit and
Oh, thank
everything
you,
you're
Kelsey.
doing for this world. So thank you.
Thank you, Kelsey.
Yeah.
And I am blessed to know you. I'm blessed that you have this platform, and just know that you are also creating, right? By communing and bringing all these people and their stories and their testimonies together. That is going to save lives.
Yeah.
So
Well,
thank
thank
you for
you.
what you do.
I appreciate that, of course. That's it for this episode of Unspoken Lives. If today's story moved you, inspired you, or made you reflect on your own journey, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next powerful conversation. I'm always on the lookout for new guests. If you know someone with a story that deserves to be shared, I'd love to hear from you. Check the show notes for contact details and make sure to follow along on social media at Unspoken Lives Podcast. Until next time, keep listening, keep sharing, and remember, every life has a story worth telling.